Hello everyone, my name is Hape and I am the Crafty Chemist. This is my completed pages for the month of February video, and I completed 8 pages and I have finished 2 whips and I have 1 whip that I created this month, and so it'll go over into March. I did get 3 new books this month and I am now at 12 untouched books. So the first one I want to start with is the smallest one on the stack, and it was a whip in A Million Unicorns. I had finished the left side of the page, but not the right side of the page, and so I used gel pens to create this rainbow on whatever this is, a galaxy, I'm not sure, and I decided on yellow unicorns, and I then also added gel pen to the stars in the background on both sides. So even though I had finished this page, I went ahead and added that on it because the stars I'd left all white. So this one I finished on the 20th of February, and I actually really like how it came out. So that's the only Lulu Mayo page that I colored, even though I had marked a bunch of them to color for the month of February. Now we'll go to the first one that I completed in the month, and it was in Tales from the Witch's Cottage, and I started it in the airport while I was waiting for our plane to arrive. We got really delayed, and I finished it in the airport. So these were with the colored pencils that I took with me on my trip. This is a lot of Derwent products, and I did buy the marker that I used there while I was in Canada. So this is another page completed in here. This is probably my most completed, and I didn't know which one I wanted to do, but this was just the next one in the book. And if I continue with that, then I'll do this B. This book came with a little stain in the paper there, but I did do this one here. I felt like starting it, so after I finished the mushrooms, I started this in the airport and I finished it at home. This has Prismacolor in it, and the Derwent Graphitint pencils and paints, and a little bit of gel paint on it, or not gel paint, acrylic paint with like a color shifting kind of thing for the wings on the snake that's here. And I wanted to do this one for Year of the Snake, and so that's kind of why I skipped forward, but mostly this is Prismacolor and Derwent things on it, and I wanted this to be the main focus, so I made those colors bright, and I also used some watercolor pencil for this bright blue background. It's just what I had with me in the airport. So I finished this one on the 19th after I got home of February. So 2 more pages completed in Tales from the Witch's Cottage. Then I colored in Daydreams, which was a new to me book. So this is one of my untouched books that I completed a page in. This is such a lovely book. Oh, here we go. Here it is. This did take me a couple of months to do, and it is this one here. I also chose it because it had a snake. So I actually started it on the Chinese New Year, and I finished it on the 18th. These are mostly Starjoy Gold pencils and watercolor pencils. So that's what most of it is. There's a little gel pen on her earrings here, but mostly this was done with the watercolor pencils and the Starjoy Gold. And I just kind of picked some colors. I didn't really have too much of a plan. I made the snake red. I wanted it to have like a blue light coming from this way and a pink light coming from this way, and then the middle there, then we ended up with the purple background. So this one is a fun book, and I'm looking forward to coloring a lot more in Daydreams. Next, I colored 2 pages in Camellia Angelkova's 50 Hearts to Color, and the first one I finished was with what I had with me, and I wanted to try out the metallic markers that I got in Canada. So it's a funny color scheme, and it was just whatever I had with me. So the green metallics are here in the middle, and the blue metallics are here, and then I just used colored pencils that I don't normally use and finished this page. So I did this one on the 12th of February, and then I did one other in this book. So I was happy to do 2 in this book this year because I didn't do any last year, and I went with a very muted color scheme for this one, and then I used some Graphitint pencils for around here and around here, but otherwise it was all just like Derwent stuff that I had in my travel thing. So I finished this one on the 13th, and I probably won't touch it again until next year, but I'm glad that I did some in here this year because everything else had been from 2023, so didn't touch it in 2024. The last page that I completed for February was in Mythographic Wild Winter, and I was really happy to be able to at least do one of these. You know, these are very involved pages usually. This one's the one by Joseph Kattenbang. It does have hidden objects, but they kind of made sense, and I did the narwhal page. I've wanted to do the narwhal page since I got the book, and I just decided to go for it. So I did use alcohol markers on it, and then colored pencils over the top of it. I'm not sure which colored pencils I was using. It's just whatever I had out, probably. And I did use them all over here, and I colored everything in except for the snowflakes and the snow on whatever this plant is here. And that I used glue and put different types of glitter on it. So this is a very, very sparkly page. I had done that before here, but this one was like a Stickles kind of glitter. This was all loose glitter that I had to use glue on the page. So it makes the page a little stiff and crinkly, but I like how it turned out. I kind of looked for a sunset inspiration, and then I applied it to this. So this is, I really liked this. I want to say, I think I used Starjoy Gold on this for the most part as well. But I do love this narwhal. I had been wanting to do it so bad. So I was glad to get another one done in Mythographic Wild Winter. Of the wintry ones, the cold ones, this is my favorite. I just love every page in here, and I can't wait until I make the time to color something else in here, because there's just no single page in this book that I don't want to color. And that's actually, not a common thing, but I've done more towards the back of the book. I must have got this in the fall, like the winter of 2023, because I think that's when most of them I started with. I think this is the first one I did, and I don't know if I dated it. Anyway, that was a mythographic page that I actually did, and I got glitter everywhere by doing that. Next, I want to share one whip that I started in a new to me book. This is The Time Chamber by Daria Song, and I had said in my video where I talked about this and did a flip through that I was just going to start at the beginning, and I actually decided not to do the title page because this is almost exactly repeated in a couple of pages in the book, and I don't know how I'd feel about repeating things, so there's that same pattern. And so I started on this, and I have been using Neocolor 2s and actually Castle Art pencils, which are my least favorite of my pencils, but they have just the right colors that I wanted. And you can see I've got the majority of the background done. I'm going to use a very, very pale yellow in the face of the clock, and then a little bit brighter yellow is going to blend into this. What I've actually been doing is, and I can show because there's still a couple of places over here, I color on here with the Neocolor 2, and I do a pretty sloppy job of it, Just want to get some color down into the spaces. And then I'm using this color pencil blender pen. It says it's formulated for wax-based colored pencils. Well, this is very waxy. And you can see I've got a lot of color on it. But the alcohol in here, because this is just mostly ethanol, which is the kind of alcohol that we drink. But you can see that that just blends it out and fills in all of the gaps and spaces like just about perfectly. And if I need to use a little bit finer tip, I can turn it over to here. This pen actually ran out of alcohol a while back, so I've just been, it dried out, so I pour a little bit of alcohol out and dip it in there and kind of use it more like a brush pen. But that gets everything spread out in a nice even base for what I'm working on. And then if I need to fill in some of the smaller spaces, either because I can't get that crayon in there or I can't get it quite over to the edge, just evens out the color a little bit, and I don't have to put in nearly as much work to fill in all that space with the color. So I just lightly use the colored pencil in those white spaces to fill them in. And I'm also able to get a more even gradient by doing that, because this is 4 colored pencils. The Finesse pen is 4 colored pencils. So I can run this over different spots and blend things out. The Caran d'Ache Neocolor doesn't move very well off of its spot. So like this is Neocolor here, so like I can't really blend it out all that well from that, but I might be able to with the colored pencil. The other thing is that the alcohol in the blender pen does not go through the paper at all. So there's nothing on the other side of either of these pages that has bled through. There's a little bit of the ink from there, but I can erase that or cover it up and you won't notice it. But yeah, this has been a really great way to get the background filled in, and it's, very tiny spaces and detailed areas in this background, and so it's helped me with all of the blending into these areas. I just kind of map out where I want the color, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work on this. I think I'm going to make mostly the flowers pink and a different color of green for the leaves of things up here, and I'll be glad to have another whip done and a first page colored in an untouched book. So that is the total of what I was able to accomplish in February. In a short month and a busy month. I will maybe post what I plan for March, but I sometimes make plans and then I don't even actually get to them, but this is definitely one of my plans, and I have another whip that I'd like to work on that I'll share in a video if I make one for March. If you made it all the way through, happy coloring, and I'll be looking for your videos of what you finished in February. Thanks for watching.